Hey guys, it's Daniel from Stump PPC. So in today's video, I wanted to discuss how you can improve the performance of your Google Ads account by incorporating shopping campaigns into the mix. So a lot of advertisers, they do run a lot of search campaigns, but something I've noticed more recently as well is not as many are able to leverage their shopping campaigns. So in this video, I wanted to go more into depth about some best practices when it comes to shopping campaigns, some results I've seen, and what I've seen to work well, and actually like some actionable strategies for you going forward, and how you can find your best performing products, which ones you should segment out, which ones you should keep in a catch-all campaign, and answering all the questions you might have. Really quick though, before we dive right into that, I want to say that I'm giving away free audits for Google Ads accounts. So specifically to people, I'll take a look at your Google Ads account, and then based on what I find, we'll have a quick meeting and I can give you some actionable steps to improve your account. If you're interested in doing something like that, it's completely free, so no charge at all. Just looking to help people out and get a better understanding of, what my viewers would need help with so that I can make more relevant content to you going forward in the future. So if you're interested in that, you can take a look at my site in my description and simply just fill out the form there, and then I'll be in touch with you. Okay, awesome. So let's dive right into it. So in this screen share, I wanted to up here is a feed only pMax campaign I've been running for a client of mine for around a month now. We haven't been pouring too much budget into it, so only about $20 per day is the goal that we set. But you can see here the return on ad spend we're getting here is about a 7.61, which is quite awesome. Again, this is just a lower spending individual campaign, only $500. But I wanted to go over, the performance that I'm observing, some of my strategies going forward, and hopefully this applies to you as well. So you can see here that I published the campaign about December 9th. Right off, we already got some conversions. So we got some conversion value there as well. Again, usually with these campaigns, it's quite unpredictable if they pick up on performance right away or even after 15, 30, or 60 days. But what they are quite useful for is bottom of the funnel. So they pick up on conversions that you may not have been getting in your search campaigns or your shopping campaigns, and it's a great way to remarket as well. So like I said in my last video, if you don't have remarketing set up, I suggest you do so through a display campaign. And also I would recommend running Performance Max campaigns alongside that, because if you're a higher spending account and you're getting more conversions and you want to pick up on more conversions without spending too much more budget, I would definitely recommend running a Performance Max campaign, maybe feed only, running your display remarketing, or a pMax campaign altogether. But I'm going to make another video on specific pMax strategies for e-commerce as well, because that's where I'm seeing most of the success with it as well. Okay, so to continue with this as well, you can see that we had like a spike around here. This was nearing Christmas period, so people were buying presents. So luckily these products were related to that as well. But the key here is the feed only. So what feed only means is we're only targeting the product feed. We've optimized Performance Max in a way to only target this specific advertising method. Because as you know, Performance Max, it's like all around, it leverages all of Google's channels. You have the YouTube, display, search, and shopping. So what we've eliminated all of these other options, and we're only using the products tab. Starting off, I wanted to tell you how you would go about and get that set up. So when I go back I'm back in my demo account right now, but what I would do is, like normal, you would set up a new campaign. Your objective would be sales here, and you would have conversion tracking set up. So because I was just doing this for a lead gen perspective, you don't see any of the conversion actions related to purchases here. No, that way you'll know which products perform well and which products just don't perform at all. Okay, so make sure you do have conversion tracking set up before you do go ahead and set up your shopping campaign. And you should have that set up before you even running any of your ads, because if you don't have conversion tracking set up, like how can you know, what type of campaigns are performing and what type of results you're going to get? Okay, so let's continue. And then we want to go to Performance Max. So you're going to want to check this and then select the Merchant Center account that you have. For me, I just called this a feed only pMax. That's catch all because we're targeting all of our products here. Click that. You want to you'll be taken to this bidding page. So usually what I do is I just set it on the conversion value setting. I don't like to set a target ROAS right off. So right when I set up my campaign, I usually let it run for a bit and then I observe the performance that I have. And then from that point, I set the target ROAS about 10% lower than what I'm achieving. So if I'm getting like a 700 ROAS, probably set it around 600, 600, 620, 630. That way you give Google better ability to spend and optimize your budget, and then it'll surpass that goal that you've set. And once it surpasses that goal again, then you can continue to gradually scale your account. Because if you give it an unrealistic return on ad spend goal, then it's not going to be able to spend your budget as effectively, and you'll see that your performance is limited. One thing I want to keep in mind as well, just a fun fact that you may have not known either, based on my conversations with Google reps as well, the maximize conversions without a target ROAS set optimizes for about a 200% return on ad spend, so a 2 to 1. So meaning that if you that being said, like you can still get much higher results, like you saw with the original campaign that I have of like an 8 ROAS, but we are that's without like a target ROAS. So again, I'm incorporating that now, given that about 30-40 days has passed since we published the campaign. So like I said, for now, just leave it on conversion value, target by your specific location. So after you've sorted out everything with bidding and the campaign settings, you're taken to this asset group section. So here you're going to want to treat this like a normal pMax campaign. You can just put some like sample headlines, descriptions. Basically, you want to fill up all the assets so that you can publish your campaign. And then in the settings, we're going to create a duplicate of this asset group, delete the original one, and with the new one only using listing groups, so only product categories in that. Okay. So I'm just going to skip ahead. I'm going to put in all the headlines, descriptions, and all the other assets. I'm not covering what types of assets or best practices, like how to structure it in this campaign. I'll do a standalone pMax tutorial in the future as well. This asset group, you only want to be targeting lead placements. So what you would do is if you have all your SKUs here, you have your merchant center connected. That's a big part too. Make sure your merchant center is connected, or else it won't even let you start the campaign. Select all your products and then be able to publish that second ad group. So once you've published the second ad group, which I would call feed only, again, because your campaign's only feed only, or I would just call it asset group 1. It'll let you publish this asset group with only having a product feed. You can pause that original asset group and then only leave the one with the product feed enabled. So what that allows you to do is what I said. So you only are targeting shopping feed placements using your Performance Max campaign. Again, the benefits of this are that you are leveraging the Google's AI, again, it's smart bidding strategies and smart bidding approach. Also, if you want to pick up on some additional conversions, then you should be running this as well. Okay. And from that point, you'll have your feed only pMax campaign, which I would again leave running for about 30 to 60 days, observe performance, and then, double back from there and see. To my demo account. So in this part, I just want to discuss more so the strategies that I've seen work best and kind of the approach I would take with shopping campaigns. Okay. So what we did there with that feed only campaign is it's a catch-all. So we're targeting all the products that we can, and we want to see what impressions we're getting for these products. And from that point, after about 30 to 60 days has passed, we can see what type of products are performing well, which ones that are non-performers, ones do we want to individually segment out so that they can continue to improve in performance. So with this catch-all campaign, you want to be making sure you're able to spend enough of your budget. Because if you're not spending enough budget, then you can't get enough impressions onto your different products. Again, this will be generating sales for you. So you should be putting in a decent amount of budget, regardless if you're just with a testing mentality or you're actually looking for a sales mentality. You can go into the product section and then you can see what type of products are performing well. And you can take a look at which ones aren't performing well and why. So a big thing here as well is you want to be doing your merchant center optimization. So what goes into that would be adding identifiers to your products, because if you don't have those, it essentially limits your eligibility for shopping products. I think it's adding specific values for your product. So like, let's say you're a clothing store, for example, something I've seen, you need to be making sure that your age values and genders and colors and specific metrics related to specific components relating to your actual product are uploaded. There's automations and ways to kind of automate that, so you don't have to be manually spending the time into doing that. But the key here is like, you want to make sure you have these merchant center optimizations down. That way all your products actually have the ability to get high impressions, but they're not prioritized because Google doesn't think it's going to be the best bang for your buck, meaning it's not going to maximize the conversion value possible. So that's why you'll see which type of products are getting more impressions, and ultimately getting more conversions, is because Google's trying to optimize for the strategy that you've set. Okay. From that point, so if you're seeing you have certain products that are getting quite a few impressions and conversions, you can go ahead and segment them out into their individual shopping campaigns. So what you could do, again, is set up their own shopping campaign with even a low budget, because if the reason for the low budget is because you'd only be targeting a couple products here. So maybe some variants of the product, or the specific singular product or two products that have been performing really, really well. And what that allows you to do is, at like a $5, $10 per day budget, or $5 per day budget, you can tell Google essentially, okay, I only want to spend for this specific product, but $5 per day can be quite a bit, because it wasn't allocating that amount of budget to that product category or those products earlier. So you're telling Google exactly where you want to spend where you want them to spend your money, and that way you can prioritize in which auctions you're showing up. Again, keep in mind, if you're running your own respective shopping campaign for specific product categories, and then you have it in your catch all campaign as well, essentially showing up twice in one auction, which can be good as well, because you're just going to dominate that shopping interface as well, and it's more likely for you to get that click and version as well. And it's also giving you that brand authority in the sense, because if you're showing up more times than your competitor, it's more likely that you're going to get. To summarize here is, it's a lot better to segment out specific product categories based in shopping campaigns than it is to just run one shopping campaign with all your products, because that way you have no control personally over the spend that you're having. You're leaving it all up to Google to optimize for the best amount of conversion value or conversions. And the big thing there is control. So if you want to push one product over the other and get more sales for it, then you have no control over that. But if you have specific and individual shopping campaigns, then you can control the exact spend that you're having on specific product categories, and you can increase the spend for those specific product categories, or decrease it if you're seeing an improvement or a decrease in performance. Because again, you could even be having like 10 of these, or 5-10 of these campaigns running at like $5-10 per day, and it's a lot better than just having one campaign targeting everything, and you're not able to control the results that you have. Like, yes, you might be getting results, but like, you can't scale that, and you don't know what to change specifically because you have no control over it. Again, that you can see success with that, but I'm saying individually what I've seen best in terms of dominating that shopping interface and actually scaling your account and getting better performance. So it's just kind of like a hidden strategy, which is not always talked about. That wraps up today's video on some best practice for e-commerce when it comes to running shopping campaigns, and seeing some success with that, and segmenting out some individual product categories so that you can get better results in your Google Ads. Again, if you found this confusing or if you found it useful, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to go into more depth. Or if you found it useful, you can also drop a comment. I'm happy to respond.